We got a lot to do today. Elliot's going to stop by. Yesterday he came by, caused a scene with Mahomes and Hurt stuff. We got Ross Tucker that will join us live in person here on Radio Row.
Yeah.
Coming up in a little bit. We had media night last night, Hugh. I went over there.
How was it?
It was crowded. It was.
I saw that. I saw a little bit of that. There was a lot of people there, man.
Yep.
A lot of unique questions being asked to certain individuals. So yeah, it was something to be seen, but it's always like that.
Yeah. So a couple things that jumped out. Kenny Gainwell wasn't speaking, which means he's still in concussion protocol. So that's something we'll watch over the course of the week. I did notice Landon Dickerson. So the way it's set up is, and if you watched it on TV last night, you saw this. Like they pick 12 people from each team to have a podium. Right?
Yeah.
They get their own podium, right? So like Jalen got a podium.
Yeah.
Zach Bond had a podium. Devontae, Sirianni, all that. And then the rest of the players, you just kind of mingle around like. You're just like the media's walking through, and they're just there, and you could just talk to them. I did notice last night, Hugh, quickly, Landon Dickerson was sitting the whole time. I don't know if that has anything to do with his knee, if they just wanted to
probably resting,
not stand for an hour.
Yeah, probably resting.
Yeah.
I mean, to just take some of that pressure off the joint.
But he was the only one that didn't have a podium that was not standing. Every other player was. So there was that stuff. I mean, I know Elliott hung around for the Chiefs stuff. I got a chance to talk to Carson Wentz. So we'll talk more about the media night stuff. But that was last night, Hugh. But yesterday, when it's media night or around this time of the year and the week, this is when everyone's talking, right? The players are talking, the coaches are talking, and even Roger Goodell talked yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And Hugh, Roger Goodell got in front of something yesterday that has been a big topic, will continue to be a big topic, and that is the idea of the referees favoring the Chiefs. Let's hear from Roger Goodell yesterday doing his yearly press conference at the Super Bowl, and obviously not happy about this perception that is out there now.
Well, this sort of reminds me a little bit of the script, right? That I write a script, and I have the script for the entire season. Listen, I think from a lot of those theories are things that happen in social media, and they get a new life. As you say, it's not your theory, but it's out there. Nobody wants it to be their theory, and so I understand it. I think it reflects a lot of the fans' passion. And I think it also is a reminder for us how important officiating is. And I think the men and women that officiate in the NFL are outstanding. They have the highest possible standards. That's ridiculous theory for anyone who might take it seriously. But at the end of the day, it's something we always have to continue to work on. How do we make our officiating better at all times? And if you look at the Chiefs' record, which I think is an amazing thing, people talk about the competitiveness of our league. The Chiefs, with their 15 wins, 15-2 this year, 11 of those 15 games were within one score. And I think that talks about the competitiveness of our game and the importance of how we officiate it, but also the competitiveness.
All right, so there's Goodell yesterday. He called, the word that struck me here was ridiculous. He called the theory and the idea that the referees are, on the Chiefs' side, or unless Sunday they'll be against the Eagles. The idea is ridiculous. Hugh, where do you come down on this? This has picked up steam as years have gone on, right? But then even the last month or a few weeks as the playoffs have gone on, a lot of people out there believe the Chiefs get favorable calls, and the league it's like something's going on here. Where do you come down as we head towards Eagles-Chiefs Sunday?
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I won't allow the refs to become a factor. I know how people feel because there's a lot that happens during the course of the game, and they've had evidence where, Patrick Mahomes does egregious things. Now, I don't think the NFL is rigged because when you start talking about that, you're talking about a bunch of calculated, orchestrated moves with a bunch of hundreds of people for the outcome of the game to be what it is. That's a lot. Nobody can keep a secret nowadays, let alone keep a secret if the NFL was doing something crazy like that. Now, I do think that there's some element of human compassion that goes along with the refs. And I think that with Patrick Mahomes being who he is, you can't not revel in his greatness, if you will. So I think that there might be some time when the refs see something, they might be a little bit quicker because it's him and they don't want him to get hurt in the game. But to just say it's full-on collusion in the NFL, I don't think that's the case.
I don't either. So I'll just put it this way. I don't think the referees are going to be against the Eagles on Sunday.
Yeah, I was long talking a little bit, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, listen, Roger Goodell said it yesterday. I think he's right. I think the idea of this is we've gone overboard. It's ridiculous. I'm not worried about the referees heading into the Super Bowl.
Well, here's what it is to me. It's for whatever reason, when we don't understand certain things, we have to justify them by, diminishing them or saying crazy, oh, it's rigged. That it has to be rigged. Nobody can have that kind of luck. Nobody's able to pull out 15 or whatever the number is, one-score games like they are. Now, if you want to say that during courses of the game, Patrick Mahomes does something that might sway the refs, I mean, yeah, that's a part of it, but that's a part of the human element that comes along with refereeing. And a lot of times you always hear that if you're getting into an altercation, don't be the second person to do something.
Yep.
So if you're saying, for instance, like the one on the sideline where they said he was running out of bounds and he got pushed and he was elaborating or he was exaggerating the push. I mean, that's gamesmanship at that point.
Of course it is.
If you know the ref is going to call it, and if the refs are looking at it and it's a bang-bang play, he's going to call that. You can't be mad at that.
Well, that's why, and I think with this, the Eagles have to not allow this to happen.
Yes.
They have to
you
be
have
smarter.
to be smart. Like, anytime I went into a game, and it was like, oh, the ref's going to do this, the ref's going to do that, I made it my business to not let the refs become more of a factor than they need to be. See, that's the thing. Like, that's – when people say the game is rigged, to me, that's an excuse for being lazy. It's one of those things where, you can't appreciate the greatness or the gamesmanship that he proved, that he's shown, so you say, oh, well, they got to be cheating. Because that's how you justify it. Oh, they're cheating.
It feels like an excuse. It feels like when teams lose to the Chiefs, they make excuses. Like, let's just go back to 2 years ago. Did I love the call on Bradbury? I mean, no,
but it was a fair call.
But guess what? He grabbed his jersey. Now we could debate for years, and we have. Like, do you make that call in that moment? But he grabbed it.
Yeah, and sometimes, and you hope that this happens, the refs let them play.
Yeah, you hope that. But you know what? The Eagles, like I think you said this a few minutes ago, the Eagles could have not let the game get to that point. The game got to the point where it was tied with 2 minutes to go. If the Eagles take care of the football, if they don't kick a field goal, if they play better earlier in the game, we're not having the moment come down to that. 215-592-9494. I think this is ridiculous. I think it's a excuse-making thing. I'm not worried about the refs.
It's taking a life of his own.
It really has. So let's hear more yesterday. This was Clark Hunt, the owner of the Chiefs, on NFL Network last night. His take on people saying that it's all rigged for his team.
Well, you almost have to laugh at it because you know how everybody in the NFL wants to compete to win. And that's true of our guys as well. The referees are doing the best job that they can. If you look at the stats, there are a lot of stats that show that we've been on the wrong side of calls as often as we've been on the right side. So there's definitely no conspiracy, right? It's just the nature of the game. And when you have a lot of success, people like to start making excuses for why you're having the success.
Exactly.
Well, I think he's right on that.
Yeah, I mean, because the Chiefs went from everybody's darling to the evil empire overnight, and that's usually what happens. Because now you're not the underdog anymore. You did it too much. People don't like you anymore. It was cute. You jammed Taylor Swift down our throat. You jammed that relationship down our throat. You oversaturated the market with the Kelsey brothers.
It's a lot, yeah.
And now people are looking at them, and they're waking up in the morning where it used to be, oh, I like seeing the Kelce's. They're pretty cool. To like, damn, these two cats again. I mean, and
Mahomes
listen,
again.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not their fault because we loved that in the beginning. It was cool in the beginning, but now it's just become too much.
Well, I mean, the Patriots started similarly, right? When they beat the Rams, they were the underdog. That was the
Everybody liked Tom Brady until he started winning too much.
Yeah, and look, do I think there's going to be zero calls that we sit there on Sunday and we say that was a bad call? No, that's going to happen, but I don't think it's this grand conspiracy. And let's put it this way. I don't believe the referees are going to be against the Eagles on Sunday. Do you? 215-592-9494. Let's hear Travis Kelce last night. At media night, he kind of took the mic and asked the questions back at everybody.
If I could ask the media one question, why are you guys leaning into this whole ref thing? You know what I mean? Like, why are you guys leaning into it? That's all I got, though.
All right, so there's Kelce last night. Well, it's become a huge story, and it's a huge story in this game. 215-592-9494. Do you think the referees will be against the Eagles on Sunday? I don't. Doesn't sound like you do either, Hugh.
Well, it's. I look at it like this. Now, everybody's entitled to their own opinion and to feel it the way that they want to feel. But think about it like this, Joe. When, say, on a smaller scale, when, say, it's 3 people that rob a bank, it's only a matter of time for somebody tells. And so you mean to tell me.
There's going to be a snitch? You mean there'll be a snitch?
Yeah, there's going to be one.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's too many people involved in the bank robbery. So you mean to tell me that through all these years, all of a sudden it's gotten worse, and it's a conspiracy theory. Now we have certain individuals that believe that that's the case. Knowing what we know about this game and how hard it is to do certain things. Okay, so if it's a conspiracy theory, try this on for size. The phenomenal play that Saquon Barkley made when he jumped backwards. You mean to tell me that was a part of the script? For that to be the storyline?
Considering no one's ever done that ever, I'm going to guess
no,
not.
that somebody was innovative enough to write that part in the script. And I know somebody's in the car talking about, no, Hugh, no, idiot, not that part of the game. Okay, but what part of the game? You have to have certain things that happen during the course of the game in order to follow a script. So tell me where I'm wrong at when I say it like that.
Yeah, I just – if the Eagles – look, I don't know what's going to happen Sunday. I don't know how many I don't know how many penalties give the Chiefs versus the Eagles. The bottom line is this. One, don't let it be a thing, right? If the Eagles can get up a good amount of points –
You have direct control over that,
yeah,
Joe.
you just – refs can only affect the game in so many ways. And right, if you let them. And the other part is – I just think we're overblowing this because the Chiefs are in that big game every year.
Yeah, people don't like them anymore.
Yes, and
people don't like them.
55 million people watch the Bills and the Chiefs in the AFC title game. It's like the second most watched non-Super Bowl ever. So you have all those eyeballs on this. Like that, the tush push that the Bills tried and the spot was off or whatever, and then they did the review. I mean, that's almost impossible to see if he got the first down. Is that anti-Bills, pro-Chiefs? I don't know. How about the Bills convert the first down?
Yeah, then we don't have that moment.